At the end of last week, the Golden State Warriors helped start off the NBA trade season with a bang. They went and traded for Dennis Schroder. It was this whole big thing, and now they're saying, hey, we want to make more deals. We want to go get some star players, add it to the team. So what I want to do in this video is help them make the rest of their trades and hopefully try to land a star player. And how are we going to do that? We're going to use the spreadsheets. We always use the spreadsheets to get it done. We're going to use that, a combination of Fanspo, Spot Track, Basketball Reference. We're going to try to do a realistic trade simulation video here where we're looking at their entire roster, what kind of assets that they have, and figure out, hey, what moves can the Warriors make to try to make themselves contenders this year? Because clearly after the Dennis Schroder trade, they're trying to win basketball games, right? And I think that that's the right thing to do. You've got Steph Curry on this team. He has done everything for this organization. He has put this organization on the map for forever now. We're all going to remember the Steph Curry days. And look, Steph Curry's still a phenomenal basketball player, so we got to do what we can to put some support around Curry in this team. Can he take them all the way to the finals? I don't see why not. I mean, I think that the NBA is pretty wide open right now. Like, Celtics are really, really good, right? Cleveland's good on the other side. Obviously, the Thunder on top right now in the West, but like, I truly think any team can come out on top this season. Like, every team's got flaws, so we need to do what we can to try to get Steph Curry his last chance at a ring. So we're going to go through this entire roster, talk about their assets. We're going to make some simulated trades and everything, and try to just put a better group together than what we have right now. By the way, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment on my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. So if you leave that comment, I will reply to it. It's really that simple. Go join the Discord as well. Links in the description. Anyway, the Golden State Warriors, they've just added Dennis Schroder to the team. They traded Melton or whatever, and Melton was having a good season for them, but he tore his ACL. He's out for the year. He got traded. Thank God this isn't 2K logic and you can actually trade those guys. Why won't 2K let us trade injured players still? I don't even play 2K this season, and that still pisses me off. So that's a whole thing in and of itself. But Dennis Schroder has been added to the team. You'll see him here. 1 year, $13 million deal. This was an awesome trade. They gave up some second-round picks for it. They got a second-round pick back, which is a Miami Heat 2025 second-round pick that they can use this year. Actually a pretty nice asset to get back at the end of the day. They traded they're 2026 and 2028 seconds or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they were, but this is all accounted for. All of these resources should be up to date and everything. I've got Dennis Schroder slotted in here as the lead guard with Steph Curry as the 2. I'd find it hard to believe they don't play Dennis Schroder at just like starting point guard. The point guard versus shooting guard thing really doesn't matter. Feel free to leave a comment about it if you're really so pissed off about it. But Schroder probably becomes lead ball handler for them, right? He's going to do a lot of creating for this team. He's going to be really good in clutch time. They need another ball handler. He's a guy that can go get you 20 points any night. He shoots the ball well all over the field. He's a good defender. He can create from anywhere. Awesome addition to this team, right? Dennis Schroeder's an awesome player. This is going to help Steph Curry a ton. I think Dennis Schroeder's going to really like playing next to the likes of like Buddy Hield and stuff, and guys like Lindy Waters they're shooting it solid this year. Like Andrew Wiggins is having a really good season from 3. Draymond Green's having a good season from 3. So Dennis Schroeder, spacers, good things, right? You have Steph Curry there that takes all the gravity away. If someone has to chase Steph Curry and someone has to guard Dennis Schroeder one-on-one, that's a tough thing to do. Just me as a former coach and everything, I'd have a hard time scheming up something for that. It's like, shit, man. Like, I guess we're going to have to leave you on an island with Schroeder because we're not leaving Steph Curry. So good luck out there. And I think Dennis Schroeder is going to relish in that opportunity. But if we can go talk about like the rest of the assets and where we find ourselves cap-wise with this team, draft pick-wise, we've got a lot of first-round picks that we can use, and that's the good news, right, is we've got plenty of picks we can use, everything except the 2030 picks. So the 2029 and the 31 are technically off limits. We can use 2 of these picks if we want to. That's awesome. We got a couple second-round picks we can use to sweeten the deal as well. That's awesome. We've also got a complicated salary cap situation right now. We've got an open roster spot, and we're $1.3 million away from the second apron. For those of you that don't know, once you hit the second apron, these trades become a lot more complicated because you have to start matching salaries exactly, or you have to just start taking back less money. So we need to be very careful with the trades that we do so that we don't cross the second apron before we're done making these trades. Once we're done making the trades, like, look, if we have to fill a roster spot or something like that and get a free agent and we go into the second apron that way, fine. We did the trades anyway. It's not a big deal at that point. But during these trades, we have to stay away from the second apron, meaning we have $1.3 million in flexibility to play with. So this is going to be a challenge for me. We're also trying to add like some sort of star player. I think that that's already going to be a challenge because, look, if we're to go get a star player, we have to get either really, really close to the salary or we have to match it perfectly, right? The only way we're doing that is if we're trading like Andrew Wiggins or Draymond Green. I don't want to trade Draymond Green. I think he just is good for this team. The defense is there. The spacing is there. He moves the ball around. He knows the system perfectly. Draymond Green's good for the team. Andrew Wiggins is having a really good season. He's been an extreme positive for the team. So unless LeBron James becomes available suddenly, I'd prefer to just keep Andrew Wiggins on the team. So I don't think I'm going to go after the Brandon Ingrams and Jimmy Butlers. One, I don't even think Jimmy Butler fits on this team. Would he make him better? Probably. Jimmy Butler always does, but I think it's marginal, right? So I'd rather go try to fill some other needs. Definitely need a center on this team because right now we've got Draymond Green playing there. I've got Kuminga at the 4. That's kind of what they've been doing. Like Kevon Looney's been playing more than Trace Jackson Davis. Like Kevon Looney gets rebounds. That's great. Trace Jackson Davis is kind of bleh to me at the moment, but he's a cheap option, and so that makes him valuable, right? They've got him on a cheap contract. He can continue to try to improve himself. He's young. It's fine. He's just not that effective right now. Looking at other guys on the roster, I mean, Dennis Schroder, awesome. Gary Payton, not really having a great season, and he's $9 million, so I'd rather turn that money into something else. Kyle Anderson, not really in the rotation at this point, not being a huge factor for them. Just don't need him. Let's use his money somewhere else. Buddy Hield. Awesome season, probably deserves more minutes than what he's gotten. Surprise, surprise, Buddy Hield fits in the Golden State Warriors system, right? No surprise there whatsoever. We want to keep Buddy Hield on this team. Kevon Looney, 1 year, $8 million. I'm okay with moving him. Let's move him, try to get something else. Jonathan Kuminga. Warriors fans, I'm letting you know right now, before you go become keyboard warriors, right? We're going to look to trade Jonathan Kuminga in this, and here's why. I would say the same for Moody. You can't actually trade Moody this year because he just signed the extension, so he can't be traded. You don't need Jonathan Kuminga. I know you would like to see him turn into a star. I know sometimes he scores 20 points. I know he does. He doesn't play efficient team basketball. He just doesn't. And maybe he would, like 4 years from now. Maybe he would. He is very physically gifted. It's just his play style is not that intricate. It's very basic. Like, he uses his physical gifts to get where he needs to go, but he's not improving on this team either. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's just not. He's not efficient. He can't play with anybody else. The team just becomes a net negative when he becomes on the court. Like, it's just not good, right? It's not good. You don't need him. Set him free. The Warriors need to try to win now with Steph Curry. We don't have time to wait for Jonathan Kuminga. If he becomes an all-star someday, I'm sorry. I personally don't see it myself, but if it does, then, it wasn't going to happen here anyway. I don't think it is, so we're going to move Jonathan Kuminga. We can't trade Moody. I'd like to keep Pods if possible. He makes sense on this team. He's not having a very good season right now. He's a negative on the year. His efficiency's fallen off pretty strong from his rookie year. That's fine. He's a young guard. I'm not tripping about it too much. I'd like to keep him on the team, though, because I like his fit next to Curry at times. So ideally, he just bounces back efficiency-wise. Lindy Waters, if I have to throw him into a deal, I will. I know he's been like a nice surprise player, but he's not like crushing it, right? Like, so I'm not saying he's untouchable. I'm not saying I'm necessarily going to try to move him. By the way, I'm not saying I'm trading all of these guys. It's just they're available. Trace Jackson Davis, I'd like to keep him, so we'll see. And then Guy Santos here, his contract isn't guaranteed, so if I have to move him, or if a team needs a player back that they can just cut right away, cool. As long as we trade him before January, we're good to go. So right now is the time to move Guy Santos, or keep him, and I don't know why we would keep him. So yeah, we need to start thinking about moves. What do we want to prioritize first? It's got to be the center. That's what I'm thinking. There's a couple centers available, right, that we could go after and we could go get. I think we all know the one that I'd like to go get for this team. Bring a little bit of floor spacing to the group as well. It'd be nice to have a run, jump, and dunk center as well to put next to Curry and Schroder, because those two tend to perform well with guys like that, and they've been drastically deprived of them throughout their careers. So I'd like to do that as well, and I'm not sure I can make both of those happen. But we'll investigate nonetheless. We will investigate. And then I'm going to try to add some wings to this team. If I can add another ball handler to the team, I'll do that as well, because I don't love Pods necessarily as that. I'm okay with it. But those are some of the things I'm going to try to address. So let's go to Fanspo. Let's start mocking up some trades. Oh, Fanspo, I have such a love-hate relationship with you. Overall, Fanspo is a pretty cool thing. It just takes them a while to update certain things. Like I was just looking earlier, and it doesn't look like they have this, like, the actual draft picks adjusted here yet, but Dennis Schroeder's on the team, so take that as you will, I guess. So just know that that's what we're working with. All right, I want to go get a center. I've been thinking about, like, centers that we could go look at. We could go find some lesser known centers, like possibly from, like, the Orlando Magic or something have a plethora of them. We could go to like Portland and get one of their centers or something. Memphis has a bunch of bigs that they might be willing to give up. I doubt that they would want to trade with the Warriors right now. The Sixers, they've got Andre Drummond and probably don't necessarily need him at this point. We could go get him. I'm thinking, though, we got to swing a little bit bigger somewhere. And look, I know I'm a Bulls fan and everything, and I want to believe that this deal's going to get done. I do think a Vucevic deal is going to get done, but I think that this is the way to go if you're the Golden State Warriors. What I want to do is I want to move Vucevic over here. I think the floor spacing is going to be fine. I think they've got enough good defense on the team to kind of supplement him. Because look, is he having a good defensive season? No. Is he traditionally a good defensive player? Not really, not at all. Like his pick and roll navigation's poor. I'm a Bulls fan. I watch plenty of this stuff, right? But historically, like he's been like fine defensively when he's surrounded by other good defensive players, right? I mean, the Bulls were a really good defensive team with him at points. So I think it can work. So luckily his contract isn't very hard to move. It's $20 million. That's really not a ton. I think the floor spacing is going to be valuable. I think the rebounding is going to be valuable. Someone to kind of like bang with Jokic and everything, should you match up with him, is going to be valuable. I'd get nervous if this team matched up with the Warriors at some point, though. So I feel like we still need to address the center position even after this. Did I say the Warriors? I meant to say the Mavericks. I don't know what I just said. I'm thinking a bunch right now. So how do we do this, right? I feel like this is not that complicated, right? I feel like we move Gary Payton over here. The Bulls don't care. Add another point guard to the team. We want a full Bulls point guard team at the end of the day. That's my goal. So we move him over there. Kyle Anderson played point guard in college. Move him over there as well. They probably don't want this contract for him at this point anyway. So you move on from him. Shit, send Kevon Looney over here. He's not a point guard, but have you ever seen his high school highlights? Looked like he was one at one point. So send those three over there. Let's take back one more player just because. And you know who the Bulls don't use? They don't use Torrey Craig. This is a wing that the Warriors can use. 3-and-D, veteran type dude. That makes some sense. This trade in and of itself should work. We have to do more to adjust it because that's not a fair trade in and of itself. We kind of took on some of their bleh, so the Warriors are going to have to supplement them somehow. What exactly are they sending over? It's got to be a first-round pick. Send over the 2026 first-round pick. I would say you probably send over like one of the seconds as well or something. What second-round pick do they still have? A 30? Yeah, send over the 30. I'd say that right there. That's fine, because you got no players of value out of this, right? So you have to send over a draft pick and everything. So I feel like the 2026, you're not going to probably send a 2025 for Vucevic. So I think a trade like this is probably a good first step. I think that's fine. You get back two players that you could use rotationally if you really wanted to. You actually opened up a roster spot as well, and you actually saved a bit of money on this as well. So the Bulls are willing to eat it. It's fine. They get the draft pick. Two of these guys are going to be off the roster anyway. They needed more forwards on the team, so they can use Kyle Anderson. That's fine. More people to pass the basketball. Cool. Not a big deal. I think that this is a good first trade. Let's go update the sheet. All right, so we lose the 2026 pick. We lose this one as well. Let's move this up and get this a little bit more organized so we don't have that anymore. And we will move this up here. Okay, what are we looking at rotationally now? So now we have Nikola Vucevic on the team, right? Trace Jackson Davis is the backup center currently. That's totally fine. Torrey Craig becomes, actually no, Draymond Green is here. We move Kuminga back to the bench. Torrey Craig is here temporarily. We can move Moses Moody up, and this is the new rotation, right? So we lost a couple things, we gained a couple things. Okay, we've got an open roster spot as well. Not tripping about that. We need to go make further trades. So what do we want to do next is the question. Who's the next guy to move, and what are we trying to get for him? I think we got to move Kuminga next. I think it's time to rip the Band-Aid off and go get Kuminga. The question is we're up to 4.3 million in space now. So we technically have Jonathan Kuminga's contract, which is 7.6 plus this 4. So we could take in about $11 million and still be okay. Is the math that I'm doing right now. So we don't have much room to work. So that's why I have this pulled up so that we can take a look at, this is all the players' salaries and everything. So I'm basically looking from like 11 million down, and saying, is there a logical trade here? I'd love to add Wendell Carter to this team. I think that'd be an interesting one, but like, they don't need a Jonathan Kuminga. They're probably not taking on a Jonathan Kuminga. Like Terrence Mann, that's not who I want to trade Jonathan Kuminga for. So this right here is the problem, right? If you want to get a star player for Jonathan Kuminga, and I hope you people are watching this video because I know I'm going to get comments about what I trade Jonathan Kuminga for, but I've already done the math. If I don't connect Andrew Wiggins to it, I don't get a star player. I don't want to trade Andrew Wiggins right now. I don't think, like, getting rid of the Kuminga and Wiggins is worth adding Brandon Ingram or Jimmy Butler. I don't even know if that completely works. You probably have to throw more people in to get a Jimmy Butler and a Brandon Ingram and stuff. So I don't think that makes sense. I think we got to build out the depth a little bit more. Could we go get, like, a Cam Johnson or something maybe? But Cam Johnson's better than maybe Wiggins, maybe. Like, it depends on what you want him to do, right? So we need to turn Kuminga into like role players or something, right? So who are we gonna get? I don't know. I'm kind of just reading through names. Like I'd love a Goga Batadze or something. Somebody in the Warriors offseason video made that suggestion. Cody Martin, $8 million. Nick Richards. Where's Nick Richards? Nick Richards is like $5 million. Is he not? Nick Richards is $5 million. Okay, give me a second. Okay. I would love to add Nick Richards to this team. I basically tried to do this in the ideal offseason videos, and people made fun of me. They were like, "Who's Nick Richards?" And then he was like just balling at the beginning of the season, and people were like, "Oh, yeah, just relax a little bit, okay?" So they could use a Jonathan Kuminga. Could I get Miles Bridges out? No, there's no way I can financially make Miles Bridges work. So that's not going to happen. They'd like Jonathan Kuminga. They're not going anywhere this season. I like this already. Kuminga, you're going over there to the Hornets. Cody Martin comes back to the Warriors. We get a wing that we can use. Cody Martin has not had a resurgence, but at least he's been useful this season for them. And then, where is he? Nick Richards comes over to the Warriors as well. But that's not enough right there, right? That's not enough for me to say like, okay, I feel good about this trade, right? Because at the end of the day, Kuminga does have some value and some expectations and stuff like that. So what else can we do with this? I'd like to probably drop another player on them as well. Like take some other salary off this for me, because I'm taking more salary on with this. The $7 million, I have $4 million in gap, so that basically eats up Nick Richards. You need to take Lindy Waters from me as well. So he's $2 million. Send him over to the Hornets. They've got to give me something here. They probably got to give me a first and a second is going to be my presumption, because look, these guys just aren't like that valuable. Nick Richards is good, and look, the Hornets just don't have many bigs. Maybe they pick up a B-ball Paul for the rest of the season or something like that. But yeah, a chance to develop a Jonathan Kuminga or something is something that they should jump on. So what are we getting back from them? This 2027 Dallas first round pick feels like a good one. So they send that back to the Warriors. We get a first round pick back in this, which is cool. I think you got to give us this Philadelphia. Look, they've got two really good second-round picks right here. They've got a Pelicans one. They're one of the worst teams in the league, and the Sixers are one of the worst teams in the league. Pelicans are worse, so we'll take the Philly one. Send this over to us. That's a valuable pick for us if we want it, or we're going to use these picks and go get something else later. I don't know what we're going to get, because financially we're kind of tightening ourselves a bit right now, just because, like, what else do we really have of value to trade at this point? It's Buddy Hield. We can't trade Moody, so what, you'd have to attach Pods in a first? Like, who are you getting for that? I don't know. So we're reaching the point where we got to start going deep in the barrel, right? That's the point at the end of it. I should check to make sure this trade even works. Okay, we're good. So this is what we've acquired so far. So Jonathan Kuminga turned into a first-round pick, a good second-round pick for this next year, Nick Richards and Cody Martin. Okay, I can use those players, right? And we've gotten rid of any unnecessary money, basically, up to this point. We've lost a bit of shooting, but I feel good about who we have at the guards. Let me go update the sheet, and we'll see what it looks like. Add Cody Martin to this. Okay, so who don't I need anymore? I don't need Lindy here anymore. I don't need Kuminga. Torrey Craig moves up here. That's totally fine. We can move Santos up. That's totally fine. So I need Nick Richards now as a backup center. I love that. I absolutely love that for them. Like, he could end up being better than Vucevic in some realms of possibility. But now we've got a spacing big that's going to get a shit ton of rebounds. Then we go and we have another center that can get a shit ton of rebounds and play good defense, right? And he's a lob threat. I feel really good about that. And we have Trace Jackson Davis still waiting in the wings. Moses Moody, I might want to play Cody Martin over you, but that's up for debate. Those two are kind of up for debate as to who plays there. But okay, what have we done so far? We've shrunk the rotation down from other parts, right? We've got 2 quality centers now, which is awesome. We've got another wing that we can use in Torrey Craig and Cody Martin, so we've kind of addressed the depth issue there. Dennis Schroeder's already there at point guard, so that's cool. We've got all these other assets, though, and we should use these. So what actually can I do with this now is my question. Like, what else can I reasonably move? Shit, I don't know. We don't have much money to work with. Where are we at right now? We're at 1.1 before the apron. So I need to go back and look then at this, and I've got 2 open roster spots. Okay. I need to find somebody that's like $2 million and less and figure out who's worth adding to the team. Like, who can I just steal from someone that can be like Garrison Matthews? Like, he could be a good one. Like, Delano Banton. Okay, let me just look who else. Nehemias Keita, they're not giving him up. Vit, I don't think the Hawks are giving up Vit. Vince Williams, there's no shot unless they want a first-round pick from. I doubt that they do that. Kings aren't trading us Keon Ellis, no shot. AJ Green, the Bucks need him too much. They're not trading us Jay Huff, Scottie Pippen Jr., I don't think so. McLaughlin, he's not what he used to be. The Suns aren't trading Monte Morris. Yabusele, no way. Javonte Green, might be able to pull that one off. I want to talk about Delano Banton. Delano Banton's not being used enough in Portland. There's too many ball handlers on the team. Delano Banton can stretch from the outside when he needs to. He's great at attacking. He's a great distributor. He's an extra ball handler for the team. He adds some size. He's not a ton of money. Okay, we might have something here. This might not actually be all that complicated. So let's do this. Portland Trailblazers. They're just trying to get people out of the way, too, if nothing else. So let's do this. Delano Banton over here to the Warriors, right? Guy Santos, we send him back, who they can just cut, right? They can just cut him. But what do? Is we reroute this second-round pick that we got that's going to be a borderline first-round pick because the Sixers aren't very good. And we send that back to the Trailblazers because, like, otherwise they have to re-sign Banton anyway, and they don't want to do that. So we'll take him on and take on the ability to maybe sign him in the offseason. So we send that back to the Trailblazers, and now what do we have? Right? So now, think of the Kuminga deal this way. Now what have we done? We turned Jonathan Kuminga into, is this accurate? No, the pick didn't display properly. Give it another second. There we go. So we've actually turned Jonathan Kuminga into Cody Martin, Nick Richards, and Delano Banton. We can use those people, right? Like, add a 6'9" athletic finisher to the squad. I like that with the first round pick, who, again, I don't know what we do with that, but we have it in the offseason to use if we want to, right? So that's good. And we've gotten rid of basically every unnecessary deal. This works. This shouldn't put us over the second apron either. So where is Santos here? So I want to change this to Delano Banton. Oh, boy, look at that. Now that is some fine maneuvering of the salary cap if I've ever seen one. 803 K left. Okay. I feel really good about this. Guy Santos, you're out of here. Where do I put Pods? I don't know. Pods can go over here or something like that. Sure. And I don't know. You can put these guys positionally wherever you want. I guess I should put Banton here and then get rid of Pods there. Okay. Look at this. We've got an open roster spot still, so we're going to end up in the second apron, but it doesn't matter anyway. Presumably, we've made all the trades that we can make at this point. Is there anything else that I want to do? Just looking at some of these other players, can I get a Javonte Green? Does it make sense to get a Javonte Green? What would I have to do that? Like, because again, it adds a little more defense, a little more up and down play. I'd have to trade Trace Jackson Davis. I think I'd rather just have the third string, like a quality third string center in him. So I think I want to do that. I don't want to leave this team without a big. They've been trying to get bigs for forever. We've got bigs on the team now. Thankfully, Vucevic is like always healthy. Richards did get hurt. It was kind of a freak injury, though. And then Jackson Davis is there. Okay, and now I don't have this pick anymore. So, or wait, no, I don't have this pick anymore. So that's totally fine. So I actually came out of this neutral on first round picks. We traded one, but we got one back for Kuminga, and we've got players that can play right now, right? That's the important thing, is we've got players that can play, and I'm cool with this. Oh, this doesn't need to be here anymore. So okay, I'm messing with this. Let me go like mess around with the numbers and everything and make sure I've got what I want. All right, I've got things I think organized now. So we still have to address the rotation a little bit further because we need to sign one more player to the team. And look, the unfortunate thing is we can't play in the buyout market, so we have to play with what's actually available in terms of the free agency market, right? So we'll address that in some way or fashion. But I went and drew out the rotation a little bit. I feel pretty good about this. Like Schroder, Curry, Wiggins, awesome. Draymond Green, Vucevic, awesome, right? I got Buddy Hield coming off the bench. He's going to get buckets for me. Nick Richards is going to play a lot of minutes. You can maybe even space out these minutes a little bit more. Maybe it's more of a 26, 22 or something. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think makes sense. I got Delano Banton that can come in and be another ball handler. Awesome. He's going to bring some size too. We need guys like that can guard. Throw Cody Martin, Moses Moody, Torrey Craig, I don't know, you name it, in that spot for some minutes here and there on the wing. You got Pods that's still getting minutes, and I still have Trace Jackson Davis and other wing options if I want. That's awesome, right? What do I want to use the last roster spot on is the question. I feel like I've got plenty of ball handlers now between Curry, Pods, Schroeder, Delano Banton. I guess I could use like another forward or something. I guess. I don't know. Like, I've got this open for a reason so that we can go take a look and see who's like actually available. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what we would want out of this. Like, I don't really need a Biyombo. Like, I'm just looking through like other names and everything. Like, is Jay Crowder's on the Kings currently, I believe. Like Wesley Matthews, I don't really want. Like, do I want Robert Covington? Probably not. Bertans, like, I'm not really interested in that. Markelle Fultz, don't really need that. Gordon Hayward's just retired, so that is what it is. I don't think I want Reggie Bullock. Pat Bev would actually be a solid addition to the team. So, but I don't know about that. Shoot. It might even just be something where you try to sign someone off the G League team or something just to kind of meet that bottom, kind of like what the Detroit Pistons did recently after they traded, or they didn't trade, they cut B-Ball Paul. And they needed just a player to make sure they had 14 on the roster. So maybe they do that in just like a non-guaranteed contract until someone else becomes available. Because technically you can play in the buyout market as long as they don't cost a certain amount. But I just want to look through and see if there's like someone that instantly makes a ton of sense. And I don't necessarily see somebody that's like sticking out right now. I'm just looking at this article now of people that's like available. Marcus Morris. Do I want him and Draymond on the same team? Maybe. Shit, I don't know. Landry Shamet? Not necessarily. Jay Crowder's been picked up. Bates Jop, is he not on a team? What's currently up with old Bates Jop? Let me duplicate this really quick and let me go to Bates Jop right here. Do I have to do it like this? There we go. So we go here, contract. He was waived by Minnesota in October. Okay, no, I'll call Bates Jop right now because he at least like has been capable from three in the past and brings a little bit of size. Let's sign Bates Jop to a non-guaranteed. How many years has he been in the NBA? Let's just hear it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have been 5, so he falls into the minimum salary of this right here, this 2.2. So we throw this. I can just delete my formula here. Right here. So we go here, and I don't think Bates Jop isn't, no, he does pop up. Okay, there we go. So 1 year here, that much money. Bates Jop can fall here on the roster. That's cool. That's a guy that, worst comes to worst, he's played some NBA minutes before. Cool. I'm cool with that. So what do we think about this? Did we add like a superstar player? No, I think that's going to be challenging. I really do. Unless LeBron gets traded out of nowhere. I don't know. I hope they don't bite the bullet on like a Wiggins and Kuminga thing for like Jimmy Butler. I don't think that's going to be a big enough difference maker. Vucevic is playing like an all-star this year, and I'm not trying to say that just to be like, well, we did get a all-star, right? But like Vucevic is having a really good season. So you throw him on the team, that's going to help a ton. You got some true centers on the team now between him and Nick Richards. I love that rotation, honestly, for this team. Still got Draymond here. You got Torrey Craig as an option. You've got wings that you can go to if you need to now. Banton is a huge pickup. For those of you that haven't been watching Banton play, go, like, a really nice player. I think this is pretty solid. I think this is a team that can fight in the playoffs at the very least. Like, you've got a bunch of quality players that are pretty smart, capable veterans. Like, I feel good about this. This wouldn't be a very good transition team is probably the one thing that like could be a little bit annoying about this group is they play incredibly slow, but this team does like to work in the half court. So if we can do something like that, then I think we're going to be okay. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think down below. I'm curious to hear. I want to talk about this further. We'll probably do some Zion trade rumors later. I feel bad doing so many trade rumor videos, but if that's what's happening right now in the NBA, I'm going to talk about it. So is what it is. But hey, leave me your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'm happy with this team, y'all. I really am. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.